Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic 2006. As I've mentioned in the intro video, this loading screen separating cutscene from gameplay would have been at least thrice as long on console. I'll cut most of them out in the future. And here we are in our first hub world, the old city of Soliana. Compared to previous 3D Sonics, it's a definite graphical upgrade, but the textures and lighting are all a bit flat. Together with Sonic's overly lanky model, not a great first impression. It becomes worse once you start moving. This game has weird acceleration. It feels like it takes too long to get up to speed and then suddenly you're too fast to control properly. However, this is not unique to 06. Shadow the Hedgehog has the same issue and even the much newer Forces has terrible acceleration. The really bad part of 06's movement are the jumps. There is no aerial acceleration. Sonic keeps the speed you had when you left the ground. If you jump too early, you're not fast enough to clear gaps. If you jump later, you're barely controllable because he just snaps into directions. His homing attack could solve a lot of these issues because it gives you a fixed speed. However, after its animation finishes, it kills all your momentum and you drop like a stone. This is the cause of many deaths for an inexperienced player, and a big part of what I mean with you have to understand this game's language to have fun with it. Finishing up basic techniques, you have a melee kick that's awful, tiny hitbox and hurt duration, and you have the spin dash, which has pretty much no use. You're faster by just running. Admittedly, I haven't played around with it too much. There might be an awesome technique I'm missing that's super useful in speedruns, but I don't see it for normal gameplay, especially because you have to be at a perfect standstill to even use it. Let's get on with what the game wants. In this game, there is a few sequences like in Sonic Adventure 1 where you have to unlock the next level. It's actually somewhat well done here. The tutorial message telling you to talk to people does not interrupt gameplay, and then you'll find out soon enough that the people with red exclamation marks are actually important and the yellow marks are just fluff. Because the deep world building of this game's setting is laughable, I won't talk to most of the yellow mark NPCs. I'll leave that up to the interested watcher to discover for themselves. As we can see here, we actually get told that we need to look for Tails the Fox, who is standing around somewhere in this limited hub area space. And what I actually really like about this game and what would have been great to see more often is that some of the people actually point into the correct direction. A bit more enjoyable than a quest marker IMO.
Sonic!
Tails! Long time no see!
I'm glad you're here. I heard that you tried to save their princess from Dr. Eggman. You're going to rescue her, aren't you? Let me help. I may not know what Eggman's up to, but it can't be a good thing.
Okay, with your help, this should be a piece of cake.
I'll do my best.
With our buddy Tails in tow, we can now explore a little bit more of the hub world, though as we'll soon find out, most of it is still gated off, for example by jumping distance just not being quite high enough, or by some invisible walls. However, there is of course ways to get around that, but I'm not interested in breaking the game and showing off all the glitches. This is just the normal route you're supposed to take. People will point you towards the beach, where after some faffing about you might find out that yes, there is another tutorial message on the beach telling you to go to a store. And in fact, you do need to do that because you cannot cross here in any way. These rings curiously don't award you any rings. And if you try to go there otherwise, you will just die. This is also where I'm going to show off that not every red exclamation mark person is interesting as well. Sorry about that. If you're still moving, then you will kick instead of talking to people. And most of them will just repeat redundant information like you need to go to the beach next, and none of them will point you towards the direction of the store, which happens to be the one square yellow mark here.
With the money, you can shop in town. Go to the store's office.
The
Check out
money in this case is rings. We do not have any rings as shown in the top left, and no, we can't grind them. And as we're soon going to see, this means that we cannot buy the light chip to obtain the light speed dash. which is just called the light dash here, which would allow us to go to the beach. So fortunately we have this guy standing around here, which might be able to help us out. This one is a bit infamous, mostly because it is the first side mission you have to do, which is surprisingly tough if you're not used to the controls yet, and also because it shows off one of the biggest problems this game has with regards to side missions. So we have a loading screen to get into the side mission, which makes sense even though it is quite long. But actually we're not getting into the side mission, we're just getting the explanation for it. And once we have clicked through that, then we get another loading screen to actually start the side mission. And this is so long because the game loads the entire hub world every time. This is what I say when I mean, this is what I mean when I say this game is not optimized. As to the side mission itself, you just go through some hoops, which is fine in theory, except that the final set of them is after a spring, and as I've alluded to, the air control after springs is insanely bad. You have no control whatsoever because Sonic just snaps, as I say, into one direction with absolute top speed. It's great. If you're not used to the controls, this will take you quite a while to figure out. Fortunately, if you at least manage to finish the town mission, then you can continue with the game. The game shows you this mercy at least. The town missions are ranked individually. 30,000 points for most of them means an S rank, and I rake in the big money here, 1000 rings for it. But even if you only get a D rank, then you will still get the 100 rings required to get the light speed dash bracelet. I'm sorry, I keep getting confused with these terms. The light dash, yes. And this means that no matter what, you will be able to continue to the beach. Ranking high in these town missions mostly just means following the preset path they show you. In this case, new sets of hoops spawn once behind you. As you saw, I had to awkwardly turn around. Some of them are better about guiding you, some are really bad about it, but usually there is one set path, you learn it, you take it, and then you S-rank it. It's relatively simple. I will of course do all of them and point out the ones that are not. With the light chip obtained, we can now zoom along ring trails by pressing the action button and reach our destination, the Mirror of Soliana. This is another obvious tell of the game's troubled development. In Sonic Adventure, you would just go into the darkness here and hit a loading zone. In 06, there is these awkward teleportation objects. Finally, I avoid a rite of passage for 06 first-timers. The game does not autosave. If you game over in the first level, your progress is entirely erased and you have to do all of this again. Fun! I hate these messages, but the algorithm makes slaves out of us all, and I love attention. If you've liked the video, consider giving me more with a few clicks. Thanks for that, and more so, for your attention.
Magical power.